Now we can download software to our local machine and run the graphical user interface on our local Windows machine or Mac. In this example, I'll show you both. So I've got a Windows 10 64-bit operating system. So I'll select that option and download that to my local computer. And later in the video, I'll show you how to download the Mac DMG file and connect to the VM using a Mac. Okay, so my VM Maestro software has downloaded. I'll double click on the executable and say yes to start the installation process. I'm going to essentially just go through the installation and click next, and install to install the software. So the software is now being installed to my Windows 10 computer, and that will then allow me to connect to the VIRL virtual machine and build topologies. I'm going to click Finish and allow the VM Maestro software to start. Software is starting up. I need to accept the license agreement, so I'm going to do that and click Agree. I'm not going to send VIRL information about my usage. I'm going to click OK, and now I'm going to connect to my VIRL server. That is the IP address of the VM. So on the VIRL server, ifconfig pipe more. The IP address that I want to connect to is Ethernet 0 on the VIRL server. So this IP address here, 192.168.1.245. So that should be 245. Username is going to be guest. Password is going to be guest. Click OK to connect to the server. Now I'm told that a master password was created. If you ever need to recover your password, you need to provide a password hint. Do I want to do that? I'm going to say yes. Now in the real world, you would never want to do this, but I'm going to simply do that. Not a good idea, but it's okay in my example because I'm simply demonstrating this. You probably want to use something a lot more secure than that. Click OK. So I've now got Cisco VIRL running within a VM. I've also got the VM Maestro software running in Windows 10, and it's connected to the VIRL server. I've also licensed my VIRL server. It's important that you license your VIRL server, otherwise you won't be able to start up your simulations. Now, one of the first things you want to do is verify that your services are working properly. And to do that, you go to File, Preferences. Now we can see that some of the services are working, but this service is not. It's recommended that you create a new profile. So I'm going to create a new profile called Test1. Specify the correct IP address for the server. And click OK. The services are rechecked. The username I want to use is not anonymous. I want to use guest. Click OK. So as you can see now, all my services have started up. I'm going to click OK. So you probably want to create your first topology, but before you do that, go to File, Preferences, Node Subtypes, and click Fetch from Server, and do that to update all your node types. So under nodes, I can now, as an example, drag an IOSv switch to my topology. I'll drag another one, and then I can connect those two devices together. And then what I can do is start up the nodes. Now we're told the topology editor contains unsaved changes. Click OK to save the changes. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to call this my first VIRL topology. Click OK. Now notice here I've got a problem. It says that the computing platform does not support nested virtualization. That's a problem on the VM. On the VM, In this example, I'm running the VM on a Mac. So what I'm going to do is shut the VM down. Nested virtualization is required because we're going to be booting operating systems within other operating systems. In this example, I've got the VIRL VM running on a Mac. Something similar would need to be done on Windows. So on my Mac, I'm going to go to Processors and Memory, Advanced Options, and I'm going to enable hypervisor applications for this virtual machine. Notice this enables modern virtualization applications by supporting Intel VTX inside the virtual machine. So I've done that. I'll start up the virtual machine again. On VMware Workstation, you also need to make sure that VTX is enabled. So on your virtual machine, go to Settings, go to Processors, and make sure that you virtualize VTX. So make sure that that is enabled on your virtual machine before you start up VIRL. My VIRL virtual machine has now booted up. My computer is making a lot of noise. It's settled down now. So what I'll try and do again is start up this topology. It says launching simulation, so that looks good. I'm told that this kind of launch is configured to open the simulation perspective. Do I want to do that? Yes, I do. Notice now I see my switches at the top. I can see that the two IOSv nodes are starting up. We can see that they're currently unreachable, but that should change to reachable, as you can see over here. I'll right-click on the first switch and select Telnet to console port. And what you can see here is the console port of the device. Notice I can press return to get started. And there you go, I've got my first switch. Second switch, Telnet to console port. There's the console port of the second switch. I'll close this console window. So notice I've got switch 1 on the left, switch 2 on the right. So what I can do now is type conft interface VLAN 1, no shut, IP address 10.1.1/24 mask. Give the switch a hostname of switch 1. Do something similar on switch 2. Interface VLAN 1, no shut, IP address 10.1.1/24 mask. Give the switch a hostname of switch 2. And hopefully at this point, switch 2 can ping switch 1, which it can. Back on switch 1. Can we ping switch 2? Yes, we can. So that was an example of how to get Cisco VIRL working. Remember, there are three main things that you need to do. You need to download the VIRL VM and get that working in VMware. You need to license the VIRL server. Then you need to download the VM Maestro software and build your topologies and interact with the VIRL server.